You might be doing everything right. Eating, working out, being healthy, even trying to make time for your partner, but your sex life still feels off. Here's the thing, it's probably not your hormones, it's the everyday habits that you don't realize are quietly killing your desire. Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Holly, sex and relationship therapist, and in this video, I'm unpacking the 7 everyday habits that are secretly ruining your sex life and how to fix them. By the end, you'll know exactly what's getting in the way of your libido and what to do to start feeling more connected, confident, and turned on again. And stick around until the end because I'll share one mindset shift that completely changes how couples reignite desire, especially when life feels busy, stressful, or disconnected. Let's get into it. Let's start with the biggest one, and the one that most people don't even realize is sabotaging their desire from the inside out. Number 1, you're living in constant go mode. If your brain is constantly juggling work, emails, kids, and that endless mental to-do list, you're basically living in a physiological state that shuts sex down. When your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight mode, your body produces high levels of cortisol and adrenaline, and those chemicals are great for survival, but terrible for pleasure. Research from the Kinsey Institute found that chronic stress significantly reduces sexual satisfaction and arousal by literally redirecting blood flow away from your genitals and toward your muscles and brain for focus and alertness. Think about it, your body can't feel sexy and safe at the same time if it's trying to survive. So what can you do? Well, I suggest building what I call transition rituals. Something small that tells your body, hey, it's okay to power down now. That might mean a shower when you get home from work, or lighting a candle after you put the kids down to bed, or just taking 3 slow breaths before turning off your laptop. Pleasure needs safety, and you can't shortcut that. And this ties directly into habit number 2. You're not getting enough sleep. I know you've heard it before, but let me make this one really clear. Sleep isn't just for recovery, it's directly linked to sexual desire. One study from the Journal of Sexual Medicine found that women who slept just 1 extra hour per night had a 14% higher chance of wanting sex the next day. Sleep deprivation decreases testosterone and increases irritability, and thus wrecks your ability to feel present, all of which makes arousal nearly impossible. I see this all the time in couples, especially those with young kids. They're exhausted, touched out, and can't understand why they don't feel in the mood. But it's not necessarily a libido issue, it's a fatigue issue. Try setting strict no work or no scrolling after 10 p.m. rule. Try and treat sleep as foreplay because honestly, it kind of is. A well-rested body has more capacity for overall pleasure. Number 3, you're glued to your phone. Let's be honest, how many of us scroll in bed? On TikTok, Instagram, emails, YouTube, our brains are constantly bombarded with stimulation. And that instant dopamine hit you get every time you refresh your feed is literally rewiring your brain's reward system. According to one study, excessive digital media use is linked to attention difficulties and decreased emotional regulation. Translation, the more screen time you have, the harder it becomes for your brain to stay present, to connect emotionally, and to respond to slower, more organic pleasure cues, like touch, smell, or eye contact. You're basically teaching your brain to crave novelty and intensity, not intimacy and presence. If you want better sex, start by putting your phone down. Make your bedroom a device-free zone. Even 30 minutes of tech-free time before bed can help you reset your brain. Try replacing that scroll time with something that actually builds connection, like massaging your partner's shoulders or cuddling in silence. You'd be amazed at how fast these small shifts can bring back that spark. Number 4, you're ignoring your body's basic needs. You can't run on coffee, stress, and willpower and expect your body to want sex. When you skip meals, stay dehydrated, or overuse alcohol to unwind, your body starts to prioritize survival over pleasure. That means reduced blood flow, lower sensitivity, and less energy for sexual response. Alcohol, for instance, might make you feel more relaxed, but psychologically, it's a downer. Studies show that alcohol decreases genital blood flow and delays orgasm. Similarly, when you undereat or diet too restrictively, your brain interprets that as scarcity and downshifts hormones like estrogen and testosterone, both of which are crucial for libido. So if you're always saying, I'm too tired, or I just don't feel in the mood, or my body's not responding, it might not be psychological and it might actually be physical. So nourish your body, hydrate, eat meals with proteins, fats, and carbs, and know that your sexual energy is a reflection of your vitality, not your willpower. Number 5, you've fallen into the movement trap. Exercise and sex are both about energy and blood flow, but both too little and too much can tank desire. Let's start with the obvious one, a sedentary lifestyle. Research published in BJU International found that men with low physical activity were significantly more likely to experience erectile dysfunction. But here's the other side of it, especially for you high achievers. When you overtrain, especially with heavy cardio or intense calorie restriction, your body starts to suppress reproductive hormones to conserve energy. That's why a lot of women in bodybuilding who train really hard often lose their periods or experience low libido. So what's the balance? Move your body in ways that feel empowering, not exhausting. Dance, walk, strength train, stretch, anything that reconnects you to your body with pleasure, not punishment. Movement should turn you on to your body, not turn your body off. Number 6, you're letting resentment build in your relationship. Desire doesn't disappear in a vacuum, it disappears in the presence of unspoken resentment. When you feel unappreciated, disconnected, or emotionally unsafe with your partner, your body will naturally shut down desire. And that's not sexual dysfunction, that's your body protecting itself. John Gottman's research on couples found that 4 communication patterns, criticism, contempt, defensiveness, and stonewalling, predict both relationship dissatisfaction and sexual disconnection. And I see it in my office constantly. One partner feels emotionally unseen and the other feels sexually rejected. Both are hurting, but they've lost the ability to reach for each other instead of turning away. If this resonates with you, start small. Ask, how are we doing instead of what's wrong? Turn toward bids of attention instead of dismissing them. Desire thrives in emotional safety, and the more loved and accepted you feel, the easier it is to want and to be wanted. And this leads perfectly into number 7, which might be the biggest myth that we need to bust. And that is if you believe desire should be spontaneous. We've been sold this idea that real desire just happens. That if you're in love, you'll automatically feel turned on all the time, or that it'll be easy, but that's not exactly how desire works, especially in long-term relationships. Sex researcher Dr. Rosemary Basson introduced a model showing that desire is often responsive, not spontaneous. That means that many people, especially women, don't feel desire until they're already engaging in something sensual or intimate. So you might not feel in the mood until you start kissing, touching, or connecting emotionally. And there is nothing wrong with that. That's just how human arousal works. But when we believe that desire should be spontaneous, we set ourselves up for disappointment. We might think, if I'm not turned on instantly, that something's wrong with me, or worse, something's wrong with this relationship. So instead of waiting to feel desire, create the conditions for it. Try scheduling intimacy, and I know it sounds unsexy, but think about it. If you prioritize it, it really does show commitment. You can also try flirting throughout the day, kissing longer, or touching without an agenda, so that way you're doing things to preheat your own oven before the time comes to engage in sexual intimacy. Now let's take a breath. We've talked about stress, sleep, screens, nourishment, movement, resentment, and the myth of spontaneous desire. But now I want to share the one mindset shift that changes everything, and it's this. Your desire isn't broken, it's just buried. Every one of these habits we talked about, stress, resentment, exhaustion, puts a layer between you and your natural capacity for pleasure. And the work isn't to force desire back, it's to gently remove the layers that are smothering it. When you create safety, rest, nourishment, and connection, desire naturally reemerges. It's not about chasing libido, it's about cultivating the environment where libido can breathe again. Because here's what I know after all these years of working with couples. Desire isn't something that you lose, it's something that you stop accessing when the world asks too much of you. And once you start to reclaim your energy, your time, and your sense of self, your sex life begins to follow. If this video resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Which of these habits do you think might be affecting your desire the most? Thanks so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more accurate, evidence-based information on sex, relationships, and mental health. And as always, remember, you deserve a healthy, happy, and pleasurable life.